Intact Radio number 5. So, welcome. There should be a link somewhere in this video where you can join this call. It's on Restream this time instead of Zoom. And so it's a little bit different, but it should be hopefully better, actually. I'm hoping it's better than Zoom because everything's more integrated into one thing, and hopefully it'll simplify it. And I also have less stuff running on my computer. Yesterday I missed like the last hour of the call. And because it was just so shitty, the connection. I don't know how to pronounce your name again because is it Russian or something? I don't know those letters. I don't know what is what, but we know what is the comment. I don't know what that means at all. So today we're talking about intactivism, again, as I do every day. And today I want to focus. Well, first I'm going to have make some announcements, just because yesterday the call was 3 hours. That was too long, and I missed some of my work day. I don't want to interrupt people and shut down the call in the middle of a conversation, but that's exactly what I'm going to end up doing today because I don't have that much time. And today in particular, I'm moving tomorrow, so also tomorrow I won't be doing any call at all. I will be doing a call. Sorry, I'm moving Wednesday. Tomorrow is the Intact Community Group, first ever. I'm really excited. It's going to be awesome. It's a more formal discussion of intactivist strategy, and I set that up a couple weeks ago. I've been planning for it for a while and kind of brainchilding it. It's very different than these groups, which are an informal sort of discussion. This is much more moderated and sort of action oriented, whereas this is more of a talk show. This is a think tank, think and do tank. It's sort of the very beginnings of a much larger organization. And so yeah, that'll be tomorrow. I will post it on Intact Community, the Facebook page, as well as the Intact Community YouTube channel, although it might be private on the YouTube channel. So join the Facebook page, Intact Community. And other place right now, I make it private, but just available to Intact Community members. So I've been thinking about that. I wonder if people would just let me make it public, and if that might be better. I do like the reach that provides. This is weird. It says I have 0 viewers. I did have someone commenting though, so I don't know. Carter Steinhoff liked something. Did he like this episode? I can't see the whole thing. Yes, he liked this. Okay, yeah, on Facebook, I do have 1 viewer. Hey, Carter, how's it going? So apparently on Restream, I can't actually see my viewer or viewers. That's annoying. I've got 4 viewers. That's probably YouTube then. So apparently I have 5 viewers. But here it's saying I have 0 viewers. So that's really annoying. I wonder if it's just lagging. Anyways, feel free to call in. There should be a link. Actually, I think there is definitely a link. Yeah, join the call at Restream. There's a link to Restream, and you can join this call if you would like. I don't know if I have to let you in or something. This is all new. For the 5th day in a row, a completely new new setup. Hopefully, I'll be able to stick with this one, although I may still switch again to Open Broadcaster Studio. So that's the first announcement. Meeting's going to be shorter. It's going to be like an hour probably. It's going to be an hour actually. I'm sticking to an hour. Whoever's on the call, I'm just going to end it without even warning anyone. Just kidding. I'll tell you this is ending now, and then I'm going to end it at about 4. Because I have to do things and make money. Related to that, the second announcement is that apparently YouTube is better. I'm getting a message. YouTube is a better place to watch this. Second announcement, I'm broke and I need money. So please give me money. This has turned into Jordan Begging for Money podcast. Just kidding. No, I don't have the time. I am broke and I do need money, and I don't have the time to actually do a 3 hour radio show every day, um, because I also have other projects that are actually significantly more important than this also, that I'm also doing, as well as other things in my life. Um, Not much, but I do have a few other things in my life, like exercising, groceries, a lot of fun stuff. Um, where was I going with that? I have a Patreon, and for every $10 that is donated to me per month, I will do an extra hour of Intact Radio. Um, so if you want to donate, I should really. I think that link is actually in um, the YouTube thing on here. So Jordan Arell YouTube or Intact Community YouTube. My Patreon link is there. You can also just log into Patreon and type Jordan Arell, Jordan Arel, and yeah, I'm going to set up a reward system for it. So you can also, if you donate $10 a month, that hour, we can talk about whatever you want. We can, you can choose the topic of conversation for that extra hour that I'll be able to do Intact Radio. So yeah, if I get a decent number of people who want to do that, who are really interested, then um, I could add a bunch of extra time. I actually do have about $100 in donations right now, so I can add up to 10 hours extra already. With that, I think I could justify that. But yeah, if you want more time, talk time, I would be happy to do it. $10 an hour isn't a great pay for me, but it will enable me to do this, and I'd love to do more time doing Intactivism rather than Uber and Lyft. So that's the second announcement. What's the other thing I wanted to say here? There's a thing. Oh yeah, if you want to help host a radio show, please let me know. That's another option. If you want to be the host, I think we could work that out. Uh, Carter, I saw you on here a minute ago. I trust you. I don't know if I trust everyone. There are some people who are insane, um, or incompetent. But if you feel that you would be a good host of this show and would like to donate your time to help uh, talk about genital mutilation and how we can solve it, um, please please join. One of my streaming connections is having issues. That's unfortunate. I wonder if it's YouTube, because I'm not having very many viewers right now, or many comments, which is unusual. I think it is. YouTube is saying, oops, I don't know what that means. So, anyways, we'll see. Um, yeah, that's not good though, because if it's not on YouTube, then I don't get very many viewers. Um, Sorry, this is going to continue to be clunky for at least a couple weeks because I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to set up a new audio setup, etc., etc. If you want to call in, there should be a link there, and I will then talk with you. But right now, I'm trying to just figure this thing out. Why is this being dumb? Um, am I streaming on? I'll just log in go to YouTube. um, so yeah, is that all the announcements I had? Yeah, if you wanna join, just let me know. Contact me on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. or sorry, if you want to help host, let me know and I'll give you a shot. I'll give you a shot at it at least. Yeah, that's the main announcements. One other thing, but let me first see if okay, Intact Community is live now. That's good. How about Jordan Arell? What's he doing? Jordan Arell. He is live now. Okay, good. 4 watching. Wow, 4 people are watching me like stumble around and not do anything. Now there's 4. Anyways, yeah, if you want to call in, call in. Oh, that's good. I just logged into the video. Apparently there's only like a 5-second delay now. Before it was like 20 seconds. So anyhow, oh shoot, because it's on Restream, I have to create a new tag so that you can donate if you want. Yeah, we'll have to redo that, but you can still go to Patreon if you want, or just whatever. I hate to beg for money, but like apparently if you want money, you have to actually like try to get money. You can't just pretend like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm not homeless. Everything's good. Life is great. No, yeah, I need money. So genital mutilation is bad, is the topic of this show. And more specifically, the topic of this show is genital mutilation is bad. So what can we do to end genital mutilation? And I have a new person on here, Ivan. Ivan, can you hear me? Hold on, do I have to, I think I have to click your thing. Maybe then I can see you and hear you. Ivan, now are you there? I can see a picture of your eye, but I can't hear you. Oh, and he's gone. So anyways, the topic of this show is more specifically, at least right now, is more specifically how to end genital mutilation. That's the topic that I want to discuss. So if you have any thoughts on how we could effectively have a strategy to end genital mutilation or any sub aspects of that, so there may be some specific aspect that you want to solve of it that will contribute to the greater whole, please call in. Please, gonna let Ivan on again. Let's see if this works. Hi, Ivan.
All right.
How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't do this on the other shows, but I would invite you if you want to turn your video on. You don't have to, but just always it's nice to see people's faces. Adds an element to it. Again, if you for any reason don't want to or can't, that's okay. But yeah. Um, Also, just I like being able to see people's face because then I can like read them when I'm talking to them. Otherwise, I'm just like blabbering into the void and don't know don't know if people are totally zoned out or whatever. But so that's nice. Anyways, how you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad. A lot better.
That's good. Yeah, yeah. It's the whole thing with parents is pretty fucking shitty to deal with. We talked about uh, the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm at the point now where I just think that it's probably not really worth the effort, if I'm honest.
Hmm. Trying to resolve things.
I mean, I'd say, you know, putting some effort in may, I'm not sure. I mean, it will help some in some way, like, whatever it's, maybe it offers, some kind of closure or something like that, or maybe put something into perspective, right? But, oh yeah, and I read that part of your book on that. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good points. It does achieve a few things, but uh, like it's not likely to go like best way. If that makes any
Mhm.
sense.
Hmm.
Not gonna
Yeah,
resolve anything, to be honest.
sure. Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're trying to get out of it, it certainly doesn't fix a lot of aspects of it. So that's kind of the rest of the book, is how to address the trauma in general. The book that I am writing for the rest of the audience, a book on healing circumcision trauma or transforming circumcision trauma, and there's a chapter on how to work with talking to your parents, but it's yeah, there's reasons to do it, and there's reasons that you might not want to do it too. So yeah, so I want to try to center this show around the topic of basically I'm trying to figure out like large scale strategies to end genital mutilation worldwide. Oops, I just broke my thing. That sucks. So I just broke a expensive toy. Oh well. Um, not toy, disability device would be more accurate. Um, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, large scale strategies to address genital mutilation. Right. So if yeah, is what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any? Have you thought about sort of what it might take to address this on a large scale?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Um, was I think the bloodstained men are doing a pretty good job. I think that kind of activism out in real life that helps. I think those
Hmm.
guys are doing a good job. You know, I guess I don't know. I mean, I suppose you could build on that. I think there's already so many good films like Eric Klopper, and then it's like I know you were talking about him on the last episode.
Brendan.
Bren, yeah, his film just amazing stuff. So, I think we're good on that side of things. The film, you know,
Hmm.
I don't know what else.
Sure. Yeah. Both good strategies. Having media that can reach people. Um, yeah. It's interesting. So you think the Bloodstained Men kind of just like expanding that to be larger, um, or continuing to build that up is good.
Yeah, perhaps, or what you guys said, where it was like wearing the fucking red stained trousers like 24/7
Sure.
or
Yeah.
something. I think that was what's his name? His name.
Who was it that said that? I think it was Kyle, Foreskin Police.
Oh yeah.
I think. Yeah. Um,
I think so.
Yeah, I like that idea. You'd have to get a lot of people to do it, I think. Um, that's kind of the thing with any of these. Like, it's like, how do we get a large number of people? You know, because the protests are great. I think we need to build them up to be also just more people involved or more protests. So, yeah, you should start one in the
Yeah,
UK. Start UK Bloodstained Men.
I suppose so. But it's like I think it's more of a US problem, obviously. But um, I think it's a problem kind of it's like a little harder to kind of get across because I mean like the situation is very different. Though. Uh, it's not as like shocking, I suppose, not as huge of a problem, but it is definitely, you know, still massive and needs to be addressed. But I would say maybe if it was at some sort of, I think, what's the word? Mental health. That's quite a widespread thing. I think that already has quite a big. If we leech onto that, if we
Hmm,
latch onto that, that could work somehow. Yeah.
definitely. I like that a lot. Yeah. Something with like men's. I mean, there's a whole men's movement stuff, men's rights too. But yeah, mental health. I feel like is a it's sort of a little um cutting edge, so to speak. It's like I feel like it's very. There's a certain amount of men who are really interested in that sort of um, forward thinking, like men have feelings too, kind of thing. Like, right, men have emotions. Men are human beings. Somehow that's a radical idea, but um, I think it's the right direction. Like treating men with it's hard to like it's hard to say like, oh, you're just some white supremacist if we're like, hey, we have emotions and our emotions are important. I feel like anyone who's progressive at all is going to respect that, um, which is a problem we have, right? Because so many people see people, often a lot of like white guys being like, hey, you mutilated our genitals, and it's like, oh, you just want attention or something. Like, no, we have valid, we're hurt by this. It's like it's an emotional trauma. Uh, Ivan, you are gone. I noticed your screen was a bit, um, it was a bit laggy, so I think it might have been. Oh, there he is again.
So sorry, but
That's
I'm not
okay.
sure what it was. I think I don't like this app too much. I prefer Zoom. I think this
Yeah.
app is built for the computer, whereas I'm on my phone, so it's not really
Ah,
working too well. But yeah, no, but it's okay. Like the actual audio is good. I think it's working back really clearly and everything.
okay. The audio's okay.
The
Yeah,
audio is good. The video.
mm, it's a little bit. I've gotten a little bit of lag on my end, so I don't know if it was as much lag that I got from your video last time, uh, or at least the first time. So, yesterday I was super laggy on Zoom, like I couldn't hear anything. One of my streams is having issues. Yeah, I don't know. It might just be a connection too. It'll be different when I'm in Portland because I'll have a different internet setup than I have right now. So, anyways, yeah. What do you have any thoughts or insights about how we might tap that mental health sort of movement?
Hmm. I mean, if there's any like real life events, like um, like a tent or a stall or something, some kind of separate part of it, like a little area dedicated to activism, that would be really great.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quick, Nick Freeman, who has the Intactivist podcast, the only other Intactivist podcast besides mine, is in the live stream or in the chat. So Nick, if you want to join the call, then join the call because I'd love to hear from you. We were just
Oh
talking about
yes, I've
Nick a
spoken to
minute
him.
ago. Yeah, he just shared his video with me, which I need to watch sometime. It does look good, the rabbi one. So Nick, if you
Yeah.
want to join our restream, we're only going to be on here for a little bit, but would love to hear from you. He's doing
He
laundry,
called me fat.
Nick. Don't you have like a headphones where you can just like talk while you're doing laundry? I don't know, man. Seems kind of a lame excuse, to be honest. He
What
would
are
love
you,
to
a
join.
woman?
He is. That's the long hair. Fucking long-haired
Oh yeah, of
woman.
course. He actually, I have some beef with Nick actually.
Me too. What's your beef with
Yeah,
Nick?
he
Let's
he
shit
called
talk.
me fat. Called me fat,
Ooh.
and he called me 12 years old.
Uh,
Makes no sense.
I mean, was that inaccurate?
Uh, yeah, quite inaccurate. Yeah,
You're at least 13,
at
and
least.
I couldn't see any picture of you, so I don't actually know if you're fat or not. But if so, we're body positive on this show. Um, you can be fat if you want, you know.
Yeah. The truth is, though, I'm actually a ripped man with a petite.
Nice. Good job. That's what life is about. So I'm glad to hear that. Is he a baby alien? It sounds like it. Um, yeah, a tent. A tent like a big like circus tent, like in the middle of the street. Just set up a circus tent overnight, and like giant genital mutilation publicity stunt. Or like, you mean just like a normal tent? You were saying like
Mm,
to do yeah, so I got distracted by Nick, who's maybe gonna join us. But I I kind of forgot what he said about doing in-person events.
yeah, so at like festivals and that, they have I've seen it before where they have like, I don't know, like breast cancer tents, and they have like like pamphlets of
Hmm.
people there, and you can speak to them and learn, and they even have like activities and stuff, and you can learn with it. So yeah, that sort of thing.
Sure. Oh yeah, definitely. And do that in conjunction with. Hey Nick, by the way, we have Nick on here now. do that in conjunction with like mental health stuff, or was that just a separate thought?
Well, I mean, we could use that movement to latch onto.
Sure. Yeah, I've actually really thought about that quite a lot. That's one of the reasons I wrote my whole book on healing genital mutilation trauma, which is the first ever book on healing genital mutilation trauma of any gender. Um, because you can't deny that it causes thousands of men severe PTSD. Like you can test it. It's very obvious and in your face. Like there's no denying it. There's a Reddit where guys are like committing suicide on a weekly basis. That's hard to deny. And how's it going, Nick? Are you there? I cannot hear anything from Nick. Also, wondering different ways to set this up, but Nick. But yeah, baby fairs is one place, and gay pride. Oh, Nick is gone. Yeah, I don't know if it's just Restream sucks. I could use Open Broadcaster Studio too. Another option that I've heard. Could try that. But like gay pride events, yeah, festivals are just so expensive. Although any event you try to get into is expensive. Money is a thing, right? We need to raise money to get in anywhere. But I like it. It's a good thought. Yeah. Why? What's your thoughts on like getting people in person? Is there a reason that getting in-person events is important to you?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely different.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, I think people don't tend to forget their real life experiences, but then again, oh,
Yeah, in person definitely has a very different vibe to it and intensity. It's one of the reasons I don't want to do online schools. Like, it's just not. I don't feel I get the same experience out of it, or the same level of cognitive engagement somehow. Hey Nick, can we hear you now? Perhaps. Perhaps. Is Nick Freeman in the room with us today?
Hello? Can you guys hear
Hi.
me?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
How's
Sorry
it
for
going?
calling you fat. Why did I do that?
no, that's
Are you baby alien?
I did call you a pencil still. Pardon?
Who are you?
Yeah, me, that was my name, yeah.
Oh, dude, you were trolling me. Yeah. It's all good though.
Are you
Well,
still
I think
doing Are you still doing laundry, Nick?
yeah, I am.
Okay, I was gonna say otherwise. I'm inviting people to share their video if they can, but no pressure.
I can show my video. I can show me doing my laundry in my dirty room.
If you wanted to, I'd be happy to. Sounds fascinating. Ooh.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I like your poster of the wave thing.
Yeah, it's a
Like
classic.
yeah, that's a thing, right? With like Buddhism or some shit.
I think it's just I don't know. It's like a classic painting. It's called The Great Wave, and I don't know. I see it everywhere, so I got it.
Cool.
I thought that was a naked woman.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this shirt.
Yeah.
You guys know Cyberpunk?
The thing.
Video game. Yeah, apparently you can have like a cut dick or an uncut dick in it.
I've heard that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think a lot of men are playing that game for the first time and like realizing maybe I'm missing something.
Well, some of them.
At least it gives you the option.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have that option in real life, you know?
For sure. Well, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're making it happen, you know.
Yeah. Trying our best.
Yeah. Oh, Ivan is gone again. Because connection might be something. How's it going, Nick? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man. I'm a fan of your videos.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited for your new podcast. You're doing one with Carter on reconciliation. Something
Yeah,
coming up?
that was a good one actually. I think that was one of the better ones I've done. Like one of the better
Was that yesterday?
podcasts we've hosted. Yeah.
Nice.
I uploaded it last night. I liked it. It was a good talk, and I had Tom Maples on there if you know him.
I don't know if I know.
He's like a quadriplegic actually, and he's in tax, and he speaks out against circumcision. He's cool.
Interesting. That's cool, yeah. That is an interesting conundrum. I thought about being a quadriplegic, what that might be like, since
Yeah, it's tough, man. The guy hires someone to take care of him, and he has a foreskin, so like they have to pull it back to clean it, and it's
Right.
like an interesting life, I guess.
I'm sure. So our topic today is effective large-scale strategies for ending genital mutilation on planet Earth. Do you have any thoughts on large-scale strategies?
Well, I think the public opinion needs to change about this whole thing. I think women in specific need to be more educated about like the foreskin, and society just needs to, I don't know, be more informed about like genital care and things like that. I don't know. Also, I think the justice system is a part of it. Like, you know, as more victories go on, like more people will know about the movement, and I think we can gain traction there. But that's if like the opportunities show themselves.
It'll show itself if we make it show itself.
Right.
I think a lot of people would be interested in a class action lawsuit at some point.
Yeah, totally.
It's a question of sorry, what was that?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. The class action, I think, right now, I don't know how people would go about it, but once it becomes like a bigger, more known and more prominent issue, like in the Scandinavian countries, like it could be a better situation.
Why the Scandinavian countries?
Yeah.
Well, I think they've had more progress and legislation related to, you know, like religious freedoms about circumcision.
Mm-hmm. But class action lawsuit would have to happen in the United States, if anywhere.
Yeah, it's just tough to think about right now, like how that would go down.
Right. There'd have to be that consciousness raising first.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that'd be more effective, because if you go into court and the public opinion is sort of like on the fence, it's like I don't know how that'll pan out, but as more and more people are aware, I think it'll be more favorable for us.
hmm For sure. Yeah, how to achieve that awareness, I guess, is the question then.
Yeah, it's tough. Like protesting can only, I mean, we can only do so many, and then the online social media thing I think is really important.
Hmm. Yeah, what forms of social media activism are you most interested in?
YouTube.
Sure.
Also, like websites about restoration and just intactivism in general.
hmm Definitely. Yeah, having I really appreciate what Carter's trying to do with Forefront and like create a new tools, new better websites, better imaging. I think having a professional and effective um, tech tech stuff, websites and other tech
Hmm.
tools is definitely a powerful thing. He helped with Brendan's website too, and I hope that at some point Brendan can figure that out. I really need a website for this organization I'm trying to found, Intact Community. Um, is going
Hmm.
to need a website at some point that's pretty robust. Um, there's
Right.
just a lot you could do if you could have a whole home for the intactivist movement where there's uh, options for um, options for like video chats, for example, like an intactivist Omegle, like just random
That'd be cool.
video rooms like this. Like I just post this on my channel and people have been joining every day. Like I feel like there's a lot of potential for expansion of intactivist meetings.
Right.
Can help people get involved.
Yeah, I mean, just improving the whole aspect of technology and making this information more accessible is just amazing, and I think that'll help spread the message for anyone who's looking for information about like being circumcised or whatever. I know I when I first discovered like this whole movement, like I was sort of put off by how everything on the internet sort of seems outdated about it, and
Mhm.
like the websites are not updated, or some of them are a little sketchy or whatever. But I think overall, moving in the right direction just means like keeping at intactivism and updating things and just keeping up with it, basically. I don't know.
Sure, yeah, keeping that engagement going and keeping the keeping it fresh. Yeah, that's one thing I even mentioned earlier that we have like documentary, um, the American Circumcision documentary and Eric Klopper's play, and there's other content out there, but that's good. But I do think having fresh content uh, is also good, like having stuff created on a regular basis
Right.
um, to keep people engaged.
Even on like other forms of social media, it's beneficial. Just like having new like imagery for like memes on like Instagram or something is like awesome, and I think a lot of people are using that or platform as like um, as a message spreader, basically, which is
Mm,
good.
definitely. Yeah, I've never been a great Instagrammer myself, but I feel like it's definitely a platform where you can spread a lot of it's good for activism because you can have that emotional or kind of like trying to get I think it's the right way to put this, but the impact of a meme that gets you to think differently,
Right.
like quickly, and kind of has some kind of emotional or visual impact that creates emotions.
Yeah, and I think the memes are wonderful in that aspect. Like they're short, sweet, and you can just share it, and then that information will probably affect people like that, which is
Mhm.
awesome. It's like super easy to just share something like that's so powerful and thought provoking, but at the same time, it's like, you know, do you have followers that like care or whatever?
Right. Yeah. Getting that reach, that outreach. What's the word? Like
Yeah,
coalition building is one form of it, but any form of just improving your
out of it
audience.
too much.
What was that, Ivan?
I mean, yeah, on the memes, it's like I don't really like people making light of it too much. Like, there's so many jokes about this. I don't know. I don't like the. I mean, if it works, but I don't really like the idea of it just being like a humorous thing at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, the memes are not always humorous. It's like sometimes it's like funny, but usually it's just like more serious and informative, and like sort of in that meme format is what I mean. But yeah, I don't
But
want to
yeah,
make
there's
fun
plenty
of
of
people who are you know hurt by circumcision. That's like not our intention at all.
Right. Yeah. The emotional
yeah, of course,
tone, very important.
distasteful ones though.
Yeah, I'm sure. But that's like with any like I mean, this issue is so like impactful and like it psychologically damages people. So I'm not really surprised that people make sort of fucked up memes and or sort of get carried away with uh, the trauma. I don't know. It's like you can't let your own pain like affect other people in a negative way. Like you sort of have to, um, you know, cope with that in a healthy way.
Right. Yeah. The emotional feeling of intactivists, like the psychological state of intactivists, is something I'm really interested in trying to address because I feel like there's a pretty serious effect that the trauma has on a lot of intactivists that makes it hard to kind of think logically and think in a way that's like, okay, what's the best way to really be doing this?
Right.
You end up coming from a sort of reactionary place, which sometimes it's like it's good to show that emotion that it causes in you, but you also have to
Mhm.
be a little bit calculated about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you want to be diplomatic in your outcry for justice, but at the same time, you want to make it have some weight. So I don't know. It's like a dichotomy, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, what's your approach to messaging? Like what's your primary talking points, if you will, or your points of education?
Well, I think the public or just like dismantling some of the myths about the foreskin are important. Like some people think it's cleaner or whatever to be circumcised, or maybe like some people think you get protection against STDs if you have a circumcision. Like those sort of things are this like totally like off, and our society just propels that. And I don't know. I think once we promote like, the intact penis, like taking care of it is also a part of it, and like letting people know how to do that is also an essential part. And then just connecting with other people about this topic. I think if you have a conversation with another human being and you share this like intimate like information with them, like how this has affected you and like what you think, well, how I think this is wrong, it's like I think it's like a complete assault on a baby. Like I think most people could, if you have a conversation with them, they would, sort of come to see that. But it's like a heavy topic. I mean, it's like you got to expose someone multiple times to this to like really, drive it home that like we're really doing this and people are perpetuating it, and it's just not healthy for people. But yeah, that's sort of my message.
Yeah, that's great. I like that you mentioned personal conversations too. We were talking about in real life intactivism a little bit earlier. How it's different. Like hearing something over a message board or a meme or any kind of written content, or even I think any sort of spoken or video content is a little bit better. The closer you can get to real life, the better, right? The more in person and human and personal. If you have someone close to you who's like affected by it, right? It's kind of that same thing that we have with gay rights too. It's like it used to be kind of gay was like it's not okay to be gay, so you kind of have to hide it a little bit. But once it's like, we're talking about this issue, and I'm starting to learn that there's a bunch of people around me who are gay, because now it's okay to actually talk about that, and for gay people to have this frame also that it's about love. It's not just about like genitals, but it's about who you love.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I think just the whole social media thing helps with that, because as more and more people learn about what it means to be circumcised, I mean, I think the more you're exposed to that, the more likely you are to realize that something is up.
Right, yeah. Yeah, scaling the message is super important. Do you have any thoughts or experience on like what can we do to like just amplify this and like get the greatest reach possible?
That's a tough question. I think social media is a great way, and also protesting in like popular areas and getting people to see the message, and then of course engaging them. And then that's like the hardest part right there, is engaging them, because you have to expose them multiple times, and then it's like they have to go through the process of digesting that information.
Right, it's not very effective. The problem with that I have with protests is that it's like, there's a genital mutilation protest, like circumcision is genital mutilation. They see that message once and they're like, some crazy guy in the street thought circumcision was genital mutilation, and they don't ever think about it again. But if they saw it, if it happened again or 3 times, you know, if it happens enough, then it starts to be like, this is a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes people think once you see it more often. It's like you become, I don't know, more aware of it. I don't know, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, exactly. Good thoughts. Yeah. Part of what I'm starting to see is that there's two sort of sides to it, which is like internal movement building, external like reaching new people, and those two strategies are pretty different. So what I'm doing here, like this is basically just movement building. If someone tuned into this and saw this and didn't know anything about circumcision, they'd be like, "What are these guys talking about?" But if
Right.
you're an intactivist already, then you're like, "Oh, this is great. They're talking about how to be better intactivists." So it's very different than a video that I'd make that's like trying to introduce people to, oh, circumcision is bad because of this, 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 and it's
Yeah.
actually a human rights violation, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think it's important to just have that organization within the community to like just have that, community building and then also reaching out to new people. I think that's so important.
For sure. Yeah. Hold on a second. We're getting comments from people.
Cool.
We need to locally based protest cells who repeatedly protest and interact with the same local people. That's
Yeah.
good. That was Gregory Malchuk. Greg has lots of interesting and insightful ideas on strategies. Any of you, we've had a couple other comments too. Happygate, Kareem, Will Farm for Food. Greg, if you want to join the call, I'm not going to be here for much. I might do another half hour. I'm caving a little bit because I don't have all the time in the world here, but
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
At least a little longer. Yeah. Doing a daily show is kind of insane. I don't know what drove me to do this right now. It was like one of the like farther down things that I wanted to add on to Intact Community, but then I'm like, yeah, I'll just start it now because I feel like it. It's like, ah, shit.
I mean, I like what you're doing, man. Keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah, same on you. I'm excited to see another Intactivist podcast happening.
Yeah, I'm interested in doing a live stream or something for like Jesus's circumcision day.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens that day.
You think something?
No, nothing specific, but maybe like some tweets will happen or like some Twitter drama I can join in on.
Yeah, there's got to be something happening. It is a ominous, or that's not quite the right word, but like a poignant event somehow.
Right. It's like so insane, dude.
Yeah.
And apparently I was researching that like multiple churches claim to have Jesus's foreskin at the same time, which is funny.
Really, I heard it was taken to a rock quarry by a bunch of angels. They're like, oh, take this and then hide it in the rock quarry until he rose from the dead, and then it came from the rock quarry and like reattached to him so he could ascend whole into heaven.
Wow.
That's what I heard. But
that's interesting.
So he was the first to regenerate the foreskin, but hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I think
it is.
Greg is commenting about how locally based protest cells are far more scalable and repeatable compared to the centralized bloodstained men model, which is interesting. I agree with that, actually.
Yeah, it's a very good thought. I think Brendan might like that too. He really wanted to do in person, like he wanted intact movement. Do you know Brendan, Nick?
I actually don't. but
Uh,
I've heard some stuff about him.
Yeah, he did the American Circumcision documentary and this book, the Intactivist Guidebook. I think you'd like it a lot. Um, should be required reading for any intactivist. A lot of good points, but he created a site called Intact Movement that was supposed to have like be kind of a hub for the intactivist movement, and he wanted it to really encourage like local activism and local meetups, and be sort of a site where people could see what protests are going on locally,
Right.
um, and or other events. But I think it would be really cool to have sort of a more decentralized model in general. Definitely
Mhm.
protesting. Um, I've done protests in Colorado and here in LA a little bit. Um, it's not hard, you know. It's like a
No, but doing it alone is different. I think alone is hard. I think because people look at you weird, they fucking judge you, and it's tough to stand there alone. But once you got your buddies, it's like, okay, I can do this.
oh yeah, it's a totally different feel because you're with other people too who like get it, and there's this kind of community vibe I've noticed just like being with other people who understand. It feels very like at home or something. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
wow, people actually get that this is like the most horrible thing you can do. How
Right.
crazy. But it's like feels good.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to feel like you're doing the right thing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I try to remind people of is that like this is literally it's like the coolest thing in the world. Like you're saving children from being genitally mutilated. What's better than that? It's a very positive when you look at it that way, that it's hard to do more good in a shorter time. Like a
Yeah,
5 minute conversation, you can literally save a child from genital mutilation. It's pretty cool.
totally. Yeah, and just to think about like how much that affected me, and then I can like help someone else not experience that. It's just mind blowing.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yes, sir. Intactivist Guide Will Farm for Food says Intactivist Guidebook, did a given interaction result in more money, people, or resources for the cause? Yes, that's a good point also. Uh, yeah. Yeah, that's the whole movement building thing, right? It's like, are we interacting in such a way that we are bringing people in? Are we bringing in funding? That's a hard one. Is figuring out how to get funding. Um, and resources, other resources, miscellaneous websites, training materials, um, a lot of things.
Yeah, I think each interaction you have, or like each protest you go to, you can affect people that you wouldn't realize that you had such a great impact on. And I think that's a good way to think about, who you're interacting with and what you're trying to do for the movement, I think.
For sure. Yeah. Um, yeah. Activism. It's good stuff.
It's like
How did you? Sorry, go
you,
ahead.
you never know how many people you bring into the movement, or like how many people you can have affect, like how many people you can stop from mutilating their children or whatever.
Mhm.
Like it's like the possibilities are infinite. Like, yeah.
Well, it's limited at like a billion. You can't say more than
Yeah,
a few
you know what I
billion
mean.
because then it'll be done. But I do. Yeah. It feels endless. Yeah. For sure.
Like I just did a protest in downtown Denver, and I feel like
Cool.
10,000 people saw me or something. Like that felt good.
Yeah, I saw you had something about Colorado ABC on there.
Yeah. We did a protest recently in Denver. It was nice.
That's great. Who are you protesting with?
Luke and Lawrence from
Okay.
the organization.
Awesome. That's great.
So yeah, it was good. I felt like we had some impact on people, and we had like positive and negative interactions. It was interesting.
Yeah, inevitably. Um, yeah, I was in Colorado for a few years and did stuff with Lawrence. Luke came just as I was leaving, but yeah, you always get a mixed bag of interactions.
Right. It was a
Yeah,
mixed bag. Like we got enthusiastic support and also some FUs and stuff like that, but it's interesting.
yeah. It, um, Melissa Kay and do you know Melissa Kay by chance?
I don't think so.
If you're protesting, she'll often join, especially in Boulder, but in Denver too, probably. Melissa Kay is her last name, and then uh, um, who else? There's a couple other people, but yeah, that's great that you're doing some Denver stuff.
Yeah, it's I feel like I'm doing something positive, I guess, which is
For
nice.
sure. Yeah,
Especially with this corona thing, it sucks. Like it's just we can't gather or anything or have any big events to go to and protest. So, doing what I can now just makes me satisfied.
for sure. Um, yeah, what was I just gonna say? Oh, what you also are doing this YouTube stuff. So like how do you get such a audience? Did you have an audience before you have a few
No.
hundred subscribers?
I've just been posting in the Reddits and the Discords and stuff like that, sharing my videos mainly. And then I started posting videos like random vlogs and stuff, and then it just sort of became like an intactivism thing as soon as I uploaded that what is foreskin restoration video, and then I sort of got a lot of traction from that, and then
Hmm,
I was really surprised, and then maybe I thought maybe like there isn't enough content on the internet about this, and maybe I should pursue it. So I started doing the podcast and making more videos about it. So yeah,
nice. It's great. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, um, anyone out there who's thinking about making circumcision related content, the amount of traction you get is like insane. Like I've tried to create other YouTube stuff and just gotten like 0 views on most of my videos or 1 view. Like here I get like so many views and it's so easy to reach the communities. I think there is a major hole in the content space that people are care about this and are interested in it, but don't. I think maybe there's some reason people don't want to make content around it.
yeah. I mean, it's like for some people it's shameful. For some people it's like embarrassing, or you're talking about your dick here. It's like not everyone is comfortable with that.
For sure. Yeah, I forget that people who are a little bit newer to it might be a little off put, but that does make sense when you say it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I just put myself out there. I just it's whatever to me. Like it's affected me this badly. Like I'm just gonna put it all out there. Like I don't really care at this point. Like whoever can judge me, just judge me. Like I'm gonna put out like intactivist content until like it's banned or whatever, until I'm satisfied.
yeah, that's a good end goal.
Yeah.
Hmm. Uh, how long have you sort of known about it or been aware of what
Well,
affected you?
I started restoring like a year ago, like exactly. So that's like when I found out, sort of like about the community. like around the same time as I was restoring or started restoring. I thought it was like bullshit. I thought it was like some weird thing that people were doing that wouldn't really help me, maybe. Or like I thought it was like some weird, like, you know, fantasy that people had because like they lost their foreskin like me or whatever. But when I started doing it, like I actually got results after a month or so, and I thought maybe like, oh, it's like worth my time to look into this sort of topic and prevent this from happening to other people. I mean, it's horrible. Like I would never wish this upon my worst enemy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It's hard to overstate how bad it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of your tissue is like gone. Like it's like you can restore, but you know, some of that structure, some of those cells won't be the same, or you don't know like what it feels like to have your original foreskin. Like that sucks. Like you just
Right.
have to sort of accept that and move on, I guess, because society just tells us like, oh, whatever, we cut your dick and you're gonna have to live with it.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to even like believe that that's possible. Like,
Yeah, it's totally backwards.
so Twilight Zone-y. Yeah, I I really hope that, and I think that it's quite possible that we're sort of in the early stages now, right? Where uh, as it grows and we get all these different pieces in place, um, I think it's totally conceivable that we could have a movement that um, is large enough that people really like start to get on a massive scale all the harms of, right? Like people understand what the clitoris is, they get it. They it's not like so crazy that people can't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we need to reach those people and have a way of forming the messaging or and scaling the message.
Right.
So
I think that's a great idea that people should focus in on. I mean, intactivists seem like they're a little bit disorganized sometimes. I mean, there's just so many different organizations and like people to give your money to, and it's just, I don't know, all over the place, I feel like. But if we keep moving in the right direction, I think there's still like hope, and we can really make a difference.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like there's no doubt in anyone's mind, I think, that we're correct. Anyone who's like really aware of circumcision and understands it deeply. I guess there's a few crazies out there.
Well, it's like religion. It's like once you add religion to it, it's like this whole wild card thing where people like want to hang on to it. It's just so weird.
Right. Yeah, religion is definitely a whole can of worms. I don't get into too often just because I was personally cut by doctors, and it's like I feel a little out of place trying to attack religion or something.
Yeah, I mean, as a Jewish person, like I'm okay with speaking out against like that sort of thing. And I was cut by a doctor though. Yeah, so it's just like a traditional like thing. I guess my parents thought it was. I don't know. It's like BS, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's good that you're willing to speak out about. I feel like there's a lot of Jewish people who are willing to speak out about it. Actually, it's like more Jewish people in the movement than in the general population. Actually,
Yeah, that's good. I think because
quite a lot.
Because we're like up against big, big money guys like funding religious rights, freedoms, or whatever. It's like insane. And finding funding to fight that is going to be tough, I think. But, once more people are aware and stuff like that, I think it'll come easier.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think too, you mentioned just having the organizations are kind of spread out and disorganized. I think one of the goals I have is to unify the movement really and try to get more uh, I don't know exactly, but like sort of working together and cross pollination and sort of people from all parts having some sort of unified place where they can um, yeah, like this show for example and other things I want to do, have a place where I can invite people from all over the movement, and have them kind of all in one place, so that people can see what's going on everywhere. um, I think if we can have the whole intactivist movement sort of um, all members of it aware of um, each other, I feel like it's bigger than people realize.
Yeah.
It's there are millions of people, I believe, in the United States alone who believe circumcision is bad and that it's actually a form of genital mutilation. Um, and yeah, it's just a matter of getting those people uh, paying attention. I think part of it too is it's so like shitty that people don't want to um, think about it or or
Yeah,
like
it's shocking.
watch a show on it
Hmm.
or whatever or
It's
get
like
involved.
people's first reaction is like shock mainly, I think, or especially women don't want to like feel that guilt because they've like maybe like mutilated their child and they don't really want to think about how that's affected them, or they don't want to feel like maybe some dissonance with that. I
Yeah.
think when you go to a protest, you definitely see that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that's a big issue is how to get like people to um, give people an opportunity so that it's not like, oh, you did this horrible thing, like you're a bad person, and give them
Mhm.
that feeling, because that's what ends up happening a lot.
Right. It's like we don't want to cancel you for doing that, but we want to, give some understanding and help you like not do this again, basically.
Right. Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the Ivan said earlier, which by the way, he left the call. He said he left the call, but he's um, working on a video of his own. Awesome.
Nice.
I'll always use more videos. And what was I just saying? um, uh, totally lost my train of thought there. Um, Messaging, something, talking to people.
We were talking about like
I'm
canceling. I was
so
talking about like
guilty.
canceling and
Canceling.
moving on with like these people and not just like spitting in their face and being like, "Oh, you're so bad for mutilating your child. We want to help you like move on, We just want to help you like understand like, maybe don't do this again and stuff like that."
Yeah, exactly. Which is all good points. There's something else I wanted to say, and it's totally still blanking. But yeah, giving like um, a messaging that people can accept and listen to, and I'm trying to figure out how to be like more positive. Um, which sounds, even when I say it, I feel like I'm being blasphemous or something, because it's like, how can you
Yeah,
be positive about genital mutilation?
me
But I feel
too.
like
I mean,
it's
it's hard to be. It's like you're speaking out against this violent sort of thing and like it's like physically harmed you. So like,
mhm.
how do you fight back against that? It's like your first reaction is to maybe go wild and riot in the street and throw all your papers in the air. But we have to be like diplomatic and maybe get our message heard first. I mean, it's like a men's rights issue. It's like people don't want to hear that like in 2020. Like what? It's interesting. It's interesting.
For sure, yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's that. Now I remember. I think what I was gonna say is talking with Ivan, he was like saying jumping onto the like men's mental health train would be like a good kind of like voice for us or direction
Yeah.
for our message, because yeah, it's like it does affect our mental health in a very serious way, and that's a very positive message that a lot of people who are progressive and may be kind of averse to like a men's rights, like, oh, men are oppressed in some way. But it's like
Hmm.
if you're coming at it from the angle of, oh, this is affecting men's mental health, and actually, I'm seriously traumatized by this, and want to just like express my pain and my grief. And that's a
Yeah.
little bit different angle where it feels a little bit more enlightened, or I think some of the more, I don't know, spiritual or psychologically aware people might be like,
Hmm.
oh wow, he's very sensitive.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think that's like a good avenue to go with the movement.
For sure.
And I
By the
think,
way, I was just
sorry.
gonna say quick, I have about 10 minutes or so left, so
Okay, I just have
I
one
gotta
more
hop off
thought.
soon.
Like I just wanted to say that like maybe like in the future people could have like some sort of like counseling or like like physiologist, like specialist about the foreskin, like some sort of like program where men can like regenerate their foreskin or something like that. It would be so awesome in the future. Like once
Mhm.
this movement takes off, I think that would be super helpful for people, and like it would just be like life changing, honestly.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Greg makes this point a lot too, that actually that's a good angle to come from, is like, we could regenerate your foreskin, rather than coming at people starting with, hey, this is the worst thing that could happen to you, and it's it's you mutilated your child and
Hmm.
whatnot.
Yeah.
It's this horrible, traumatic, violent thing. It's like, oh, you could actually have your foreskin back if you want, and here's the reasons that you might want it.
Hmm.
I've experienced, some people are at least a lot more open to that, because it's like, oh, interesting, I'd never thought about that before.
Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe I do want it back. But because it's totally conceivable. I don't know if it's millions of dollars or billions or what, but um, I think considering the scale of the problem, that it's literally over 1 billion men who have lost a massive amount of pleasure
Right.
and caused serious trauma. I think it's totally reasonable to invest billions in a solution.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think Gregory says reparations is non-negotiable. I think that's right. I mean, it's like totally unfathomable, like the effect of mass circumcision on a society. It's like totally crazy. Like in order for someone to quantify like the reparations going on here, it'll need to be like a huge like slow investigation into like all these people affected, and it's just a whole mess that is yet to be discovered. I feel like.
For sure, yeah. There was a $200 billion lawsuit against the tobacco industry, um, when that whole thing kind of unraveled, and I think that's a reasonable goal, that something like that could totally happen. I mean, 100 million men, and it's like, to regenerate our foreskins would be, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 each, something in that range. So it's like it's probably about what it would be in the United States alone. So, is Islam and other nations, and Judaism, um, and tribal circumcision for that matter, FGM, etc., is whole other cans of worms as well. But U.S.
Right.
circumcision alone is like 100 million men, uh, and the wealthiest country pretty much in the world. So it's like
It's
expecting,
crazy.
right? Yeah. 2020, man. Not what you would expect, but
Yeah, we're doing what we can. I mean, with the
Yeah, I
cards we're
feel-
dealt with, and the people that are around us, basically. I mean, people just need to be more aware, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But yeah,
for sure. Yep, that's what we're doing. Raising awareness, giving people a chance to engage. I'm trying to, figure out like if intactivists there are intactivists who care about this and like just don't know what they can really do. So
yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how I can give people a place to like plug in and be like, oh, if you want to end circumcision, then you just go do this thing. You just sign up for a group, or protesting is another great thing. If we had, you just go to a local protest. They're happening every week or something.
yeah. I mean, what you're doing now and your plans for the future, I think, are right on track with that sort of thing. And just keep it up, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I
Yeah.
appreciate your voice as well. It's
Thank
very,
you.
encouraging. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I just try to bring some positivity and shed some light, and hopefully people will like come to their senses about this issue.
Yeah, I'm sure they will eventually. It's just a matter of when. Right?
Yeah.
You can't just keep doing this forever. Eventually, I feel like the internet's kind of a game changer too. Just the
Yeah.
fact that we can so easily now connect with each other and collaborate and share our voices. So
Yeah, totally.
that's pretty exciting. And share the information of like, how many. It was a long time that I think people just had like didn't really have any idea. Like no one really knew. Like, oh,
Yeah. The only way you could find out about like restoration was through like a book or like
right.
someone telling you by word of mouth or something like that. But now you can
Yeah.
just go on the internet and be like, "Oh, what's wrong with my penis?"
Yeah. Like, well, is circumcision bad? You just type in Google. Now.
Yeah, yeah.
It was not a thing before. You're like, hey, mom, why did you circumcise me? Because it's dirty. Gross. Oh, okay.
Wait, look here, mom. It's actually fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, I'm grateful for the internet. That's for sure.
Internet's a good thing. Most of the time.
Yeah, it depends how you use it.
Yeah. It has good potentials, at least.
Mm-hmm,
I'm gonna go through the comments here quick. Greg said we need to be networking with the friendly people we find at local protests to feed the growth of the organization itself. Exponential growth of boots on the ground. Absolutely. Networking, recruiting. Again, would recommend to anyone this book, The Intactivist Guidebook by Brennan Mata, talks a lot about recruiting. That was the main thing I got from it, is like we need to like figure out a way to bring people into the movement. If we're not doing that, then we're never going to grow. You don't just like, and it kind of goes into more details of how to do that, at least a bit. And, figuring out how to network with people, how to bring them in, how to talk to people and be like, hey, not just like, this is a horrible thing, but get involved with it. Please
Right.
help us out. Yeah. Happy gay. Greg, you are right. Reparations non-negotiable. What is it mean by reparations? Greg, we need to know what you mean by reparations, but that will have to be a topic for another day because I have to leave in a minute.
Oh, he did say that actually. Funding for tissue regeneration. I think that's what he meant.
Yes. There you go. Perfect.
That'd be cool. I just hope the science gets there, man.
Yeah, well, we'll have to push it there. That's why I said billions of dollars. I think
Right.
Fortune said millions, and it's like, it might be that it might. It's hard to say because no one's. no one's done anything exactly like foreskin regeneration before. We've regenerated
Mhm.
skin and the inside of vaginas, and foreskin's a little bit different. Maybe we'll be able to do it, but
I think it's interesting.
yeah, it might take billions of dollars. Frankly,
Yeah.
I'm not totally sure, but like, there are how many billionaires in the world, right? It's like, come on, how many circumcised billionaires, for that matter, in the United States alone? Is probably
Sure, there's plenty.
several. Greg wants to join. I'll let you on for a minute, Greg, but I'm like about to sign off.
Yeah, this guy's got to go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you caught me in the middle of dinner. I would have been on earlier, but yeah, using the prospect of regeneration as a hook to get people involved. I think it's totally possible. I mean, the state of the art of the technology is beyond the trial phase. They've been doing certain things at Wake Forest for 20 years now.
Right. The vagina regeneration was like 15 years ago.
Wow.
Greg got kicked off again. But we are leaving in like, I'm leaving in like 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. This has been great. I'm glad I got to meet you, and hope to talk with you again. I'm gonna plan on doing this every day. Not tomorrow because I have a group, Intact Community Group meeting, but probably every day after that.
Cool.
Probably, I'll figure out the time. Maybe at 3, but we'll see. And so,
Sweet,
hope to
brother.
talk with you again.
Yeah, man. I'd be totally down.
Dope.
Peace.
All right, peace out. See you later.
See ya.
Greg,
Take care.
If you're watching now, I'm going to log off now. Want to talk with you again more too. Enjoy your and appreciate your contributions. Yeah, good point about Forge and recruiting people, and that's reparations are non-negotiable. Was the other point you made that I saw, which is also absolutely reparations. You know, having this is like, oh, it's just this horrible thing. It's terrible messaging. Like, there's this tragic, horrible mutilation happened to all of us. What can we do about it? Nothing. It's just like so depressing and hopeless and de-energizing. Whereas it's like, we are demanding that you regenerate our foreskins and fix this because it's a massive, massive human rights violation. The most massive human rights violation there could be. And so we demand that you fix it. Is totally reasonable. Or for that matter, we just fix it ourselves. Because if 100 million men donated $100 each, that would be $10 billion. So, like, frankly, we don't actually even need reparations if we just do that. Although, again, $10,000 each, so that we can actually afford the surgery would be also probably reasonable to expect. Which, by the way, 10,000 times 100 million would be $1 trillion. So again, we really should have plenty of cash to get this regenerated with the size of the violation and the size of the U.S. budget, which is $10 trillion a year. So like a few $billion is not unreasonable. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. Thanks everyone for joining today. Greg's back in. I can't just ignore him. Hey, Greg. How's it going?
Sorry about that. It crashed. I don't even know what I was saying. You're getting ready to log off then.
I am getting to log off. If you want to chime in though before we go or make any closing comments, I've been commenting on.
Yeah, regeneration is a hook. I don't have much of a stake in the current efforts to do it, but the overall state of the art of technology is probably beyond where we think it is, and I'm in the immediate. I'm sort of more concerned as to how it affects, on-ramping people into the movement. Like, you have an incentive, you have a reason to become involved that's personal, that's not just altruistic.
Sure, yeah. The only reason I joined was to host the 4gen podcast. Oh man, it's crashing. I wonder if it's Restream. It might be Restream. But by hook he means make people interested. Make people want to join. Like have a reason to like care. Like otherwise it's like, oh, you were mutilated as a child. Hey again. I think it
Sorry.
might be
Yeah,
Restream.
it crashes incessantly.
Damn it.
If it happens again, just I'll be done. But yeah, that's really all I had to say.
Okay, yeah. Great point. Yeah, that's what got me to join the movement, was actually to host 4gen's podcast. Before that I was like, I just, it's horrible, but I can't even like tolerate it because it's too painful for me. So it crashed again. Dang, I might have to try another method, Open Broadcast Studio. I like this because I can see the comments here. If I use OBS, then I won't be able to do that. Although there's another app you can use to make that work. Anyways, thanks for joining, everyone. I will be back again the day after tomorrow. If you want to see the group that we're doing, then join the Intact Community Facebook group. And you can view that after it's done. It will be awesome, amazingness. And yeah, that's about all I have to say for today. So thanks everyone for joining, and I will talk to you later. I want to finish how to figure out how to end this. There it is.